Hello, this is Susie Berry, and I have come on today to tell you all about the lung meridian. So over the past little while, everybody's placed so much importance on deep breathing and getting your lungs nice and strong, and I have done 6 other meridian movies so far, and I've got to the point in the Chinese medicine field where we're talking all about lungs today. So I hope you enjoy what I've got to teach you, and hopefully it'll help boost your immune system. So when you work with lungs, it's all about preventing getting colds and making sure you can breathe nice and deeply. So this can be really, really helpful on a very physical level with what we're having to deal with just now, along with just the basics of washing your hands, making sure you're internally clean and getting all the air that's stagnant in your chest out. That is really what you want to be clearing. And I'm going to be teaching you how to clear all that using Eden energy medicine techniques today, along with a few yogic stretches and a little bit of self-massage. So I really hope it's helpful for you. If you have any questions, then please do comment in. Let me know what you'd like to pick up on, and if you want me to go over anything, then you can always say so in the comments. So I'm going to start off working with the occipital ridge. So you have some acupressure points called neurovasculars right where your neck and skull join together. And probably for most of us, we've been sitting like this, typing away, and this bit around here has got a lot of tension. So just press your fingers into either side of your spinal column where it meets when the neck meets the skull, and just press back in there. And you might find it's a little bit tender. Just put a little bit of pressure and just work in there. Okay. So as you work in there, you might find it's a little bit sore. This just really helps to allow you to breathe a little bit better. Okay. And you can just hold there for a little while. So here you've got lung neurovasculars, and then you're just going to pinch like that as if you've got a little crab claw. Just grab on either side where your neck and your skull meet, and grab there, and together with your baby soft spot on the top of your head. So there you've got a neurovascular point, and these two together help your lungs to receive information from your brain to let go of any stagnant energy that they've been holding on to. So lung is all about being inspired and letting go of any sadness. So when I'm going to be doing the meditation at 8 o'clock, if you're finding this really comfortable just now, then I would advise for you to prop yourself up on some pillows and lie back and hold this position. And this helps to stimulate your lung neurovasculars and sending a bit of extra blood pumping through your lung muscles to help them get a bit stronger. Now, while you are paying attention to the class, you can take note of any energetic shifts or changes. I notice quite often when I'm working with my lung meridian, I tend to sigh and yawn a lot. So it's not that I'm bored teaching you, but that's just how energy tends to move through my body. So you might notice that yourself, or you might notice little gurgles happening in your body or tingles. Usually after a few minutes of holding this position, I will feel certain tingles in my body. Just massage into the back of your neck and the top of your head. Okay. And if you want to, you can think of the affirmation: I breathe in fresh energy and inspiration, and I breathe out stale energy and grief. So I want to say a little thank you to Donna Eden, who's been an inspiration to me for many years now. And just I'm doing these classes a little thank you homage to her in a way. So you can always follow me along. If you feel like you've missed out on a bit or you want to catch up, then I'll be posting it again on YouTube later. Okay. So then, once you feel like you've kind of, you might feel some tingling, or you might feel a start of pulsation. You can hold these points for as long as you want, and you might find the longer that you hold them, the more of an energetic shift you get, but I'm just holding them for a little while now so you can feel a small shift. We're gonna take our hands now and just drop back. So bring your hand as straight as you can and just to either side of your spine, like so. And we're going to do one side first and then the other. So you're just going to press in okay, so you might find when you press in around that spot that you find it a little bit sore. What you can do to help is just press back on your arm, and that stretches out your lungs, and you can massage in around that point. And there you have a lung neurolymphatic, and it's just kind of turned so you can see it a little bit better. It's in line with the top of your shoulder blade. And just massage in there and put in as much pressure as you can, and then just do the same on the other side. So just pressing in. Okay, and the other neurolymphatics at the front are right down the center of your breastbone. So give that a really good massage and working as hard as you can. And for those of you who are smokers, I would imagine this is probably a little bit tender. Just get in there, give it a good hard rub. Really put in as much pressure as you can. Usually neurolymphatics are quite a little bit sore or tender, and usually when that's the case, it just means that you need to work with it little and often. It tends to be that the sorer it is, the more you probably need it. So giving your breastbone a good rub, taking good care of your lungs, and then just at the bottom, just coming out a couple of inches and massaging in there. And this just helps for your lymphatic fluid to drain out of your chest a little bit easier. Looking after those white blood cells in your body. Okay. So, okay. So now I'm going to teach connecting heaven and earth. I've actually got a little video of doing this exercise alone, just because it's really good for your joints and it's a great stretch, and it stretches out your whole lung cavity. So I feel like it's important to teach it and let you know it. So get up on your feet. Okay. So just going to start off rubbing your hands together. This is actually a Tai Chi move, but it's really useful, really powerful in stretching out your joints and obviously your lungs. So you're just going to bring one hand up. I'm just going to show you, my hand is flat, totally flat, because you're stretching out your wrists, right? So stretch it as high up as you can go, and the other one you're going to push down. So again, you want that to be as flat as you can, and you're just imagining that you're holding up the ceiling and you're pushing down there. You can probably feel a sense of tingling through your arms. Taking a nice deep breath. And just breathe out and bring your hands back to the center. Then up to the other side. Just pressing up and pushing down. And coming back to the center. And up to the other side. And I'm just going to do 3 times on each side. And then you're just going to bend over. Make sure you move forward from your shoulders down. Don't let your back round at all. Keep your back as straight as possible. And if your hands touch the earth, then great. If not, just imagine pushing down. So you want to keep your wrist nice and straight. Just push any energy that you don't want to hold on to. Just push that into the earth. And then slowly bring one hand over the other. Back up. And stretch your hands out nice and wide. Holding up the whole ceiling or the whole sky with your hands. Bring your hands back so you've got a little bit of a stretch across your chest. Feel that tingling through your arms. And then bring your hands into your chest. Okay. So, from there, you're going to start flushing your lung meridian. So your lung meridian starts here. It comes down and off your thumb. And to flush it, what you do is you go backwards and then forwards a few times so that you get rid of any energy that you don't want to hold on to. So you just come from your thumb up to your arm and then down and off a few times. And you're going to do the same on the other side. So from your thumb straight up onto your chest and then back and off. And along that, so the reason that I was saying to stretch out your hands nice and flat is that right in here underneath your thumb you've got the lung source point. So this is a really powerful acupressure point. If you feel like you're having an asthma attack coming on, this would be my go-to, just massaging in here. And it can be a little bit tense, especially if you've been hyperventilating. So you can massage it, you can use little figures of 8s if it's sore to work there, or you can just give it a little tap. And if you work with aromatherapy oils, then a great oil that I've found that works really well for working with lungs is black pepper. It really helps to open up your circulation, air circulation for you. So just working in here, you wouldn't work with black pepper on its own, you have to mix it in with a base oil, but if you have black pepper to hand you can do that, or even you can flush that meridian going backwards and then down a few times using a mixture of black pepper with almond or grapeseed oil. It's really nice just to go backwards on the lung meridian and then down a few times, and that I find really is quite helpful for working with lung meridian and really clearing out any negative energies. So now we're going to go on to the Tibetan Rings. So you have a really interesting band of energy in your auric field around your chest, and it's called Tibetan Rings. So the Tibetan Rings, they are like big figures of eights diagonally moving across your body. So they work from your shoulder down to your hips on both sides diagonally. And to get the energy flowing through your chest, it's really great to have that Tibetan ring auric structure in place. So to strengthen it, all you do is just rub your hands together and build up a lot of static there. And just shake it off. And take one hand to the center of your chest and move it up to your shoulder. Come round and across to your opposite hip. Then down and back up, and you're gently going to move in a figure of eight pattern. So imagining a diagonal figure of eights across your chest and down to your hips. So you're just crossing that energy over your body. You can do that directly onto your body, or you can come off out into the auric field. Okay, and then you can do the same on the opposite side, so starting in the center of your body, working up and down and across. So just that helps to really build up the energies across your body and helps the lungs to function at their best capability. And then you can come out into the field as well, so just imagine that diagonal figure of eight from your shoulder down to your hip and back. Okay, and then just taking your hands to either side and just gently crossing, so you're doing that nice weave right across your lungs, your whole torso, making that energy really strong. Okay, so I'm going to go on to a nice yogic stretch now. So this one is called the Artemis Stretch, and it really helps your lungs, and it also impacts upon your heart. So you might remember when I was teaching the heart meridian, I was getting you to imagine the pain from your heart coming off your pinky finger, and this does the same thing, but not just that, it also helps you stretch out your lung as well. So you're going to bring your hand out to your side and just turn your head, stretch out your hand as far as you can, making sure that your shoulder is in line. You don't want your shoulder all the way up here, just straight out, and just stretch your hand out. And you can just keep one hand on your chest and just imagine any pain from your heart just dripping off your pinky finger. Just letting go of anything that you no longer want to hold on to. Allowing yourself to feel easy. And then just bringing your hand back and then moving over to the other side. And any grief that you've been holding on to, just imagine that coming off your pinky. As you just stretch your arm out, letting your lungs feel a little bit stretch in your arms. And then just bringing your hands back to the center and just breathing deeply. So that was just a stretch on either side. Now we're going to go into your grief, which can be difficult. So, in order to work with your grief, I want you to just keep your hands at your heart for a little while. And think about any grief that you've been holding on to. And I don't necessarily, grief it can be such a strong word, we tend to think about it with death. And I hope nobody watching has been having to deal with death, although I know it's prevalent at the moment, and that's really sad. And if you're holding on to sadness, then now is the time to work through that, and hopefully this little exercise will help you let that go. So just imagine any sadness, and you're just going to take that into your heart, into the little ball just in your hands. And just look at your hands for a little while. Create a little ball there of any sadness, any grief that you've had. And you're just going to open your hands wide and just imagine that ball drifting off. And then slowly you're going to bring your hands back together, and as you do so, you're just going to make a little noise with your hands. Okay. So just and maybe the first time that you did this, that ball didn't really get rid of everything, or maybe you just have a lot of grief to let go of. So you're going to just imagine balling it up once more in between your hands. Again, just this time as you breathe out, you're going to make that noise. Coming back in, you're just going to bend down a little bit. Just crumple yourself up a little bit. Coming out. And crumpling yourself back up again. Again. And this time, while you've got your hands open wide, I want you to think about embracing somebody or something that inspires you. What have you been inspired by this week? Okay, so you're going to imagine that as you do that noise once more, just bringing your hands together. Bringing that inspiration into your heart. So I've been really inspired by all the different Eden Energy Medicine teachers through innersource.net and on the different Facebook forums, and I have been really inspired by a guy called Rex who's been teaching me how to do poi online, which has been really helpful. Poi is a really fantastic way of crossing over your energies energetically. So at some point, once I've watched all of Drex's videos, I probably might go ahead and do a poi teaching class at some point, because it has been really helpful in getting my energies crossed over. So, okay, so lung alarm point is the next bit. So usually these points here, if you just cross your hands over, you can press in and you'll find 2 points you might find they're a little bit tender. So the very start of the lung meridian is where your lung alarm point is, and usually if you have been a smoker, or if you've been around somebody that's been smoking a lot, or if you're just dealing with a lot of grief, these points will be sore, because they tend to get sore when you've got chronic pain. So just massage in here. You can massage in figures of 8, or you can just rub it. Again, if you have an oil at home, that can be really helpful. So black pepper is a great kind of easy one. A really out there mixture that I've found to be really helpful is frankincense and lime for colds as well, actually. And it just smells amazing, that mixture. So if you want to, you can see if that blend works for you if you have aromatherapy oils at home. Okay, and just give that a good tap. Now with the alarm points, it's quite nice just massaging them, but if you happen to have any crystals at home, then you can use them to work out the auric field as well. So I'm just going to grab one of my little crystals. So this isn't actually, it's just a cut glass ball rather than a crystal, because at the current moment I have all my crystals out in the garden because I don't have any in-house clients. I figured I may as well put them all out in the garden and get them fully charged so that when people can come back to my house, I will have crystals that are super charged, and because they've been left in the sun and moon for quite a few days now, and I've made myself a little crystal bed in the garden, which has been amazing to lie on. So I'm just going to take this little crystal ball and just put it up next to my alarm point. If you don't have one of these, then you can just take your hand and imagine a light going in through your hand, because essentially we are light beings, and all the little crystal does is expand that light around your body. So, okay, I think actually this is the point where I'm just going to review everything. So I'm going to go from the top of the head and just see where it takes you. Now, I'm just running through everything once more. So the sound that helps relieve grief and sadness is the sound that a snake makes, that's noise. So if you want to let go of sadness, you can do so opening your arms wide, just making that noise, so just coming in and letting go. And you can do that as many times as you like. The alarm points are right here, top of either side of your chest. You can rub them to help shift out any excess energy that's been stuck there. The source point is just underneath your thumb at the wrist crease, which is great for asthma. And your neurovasculars, so you've got two right where the occipital ridge is, and then one right at your baby soft spot at the top of your head. These are the points that I would say if you're going to listen into the meditation at 8 o'clock, this is where I'm going to ask you to hold, either here or here, or okay, so whatever is most comfy for you works. And massaging your breastbone daily and just the bottom on the outside, that will help your lymphatic system around your lungs to work better. Also stretching up and massaging in just where your third finger hits when you put your arm up on either side. That will help your lymphatic system. Flushing lung, all you need to do with the lung meridian is come from your thumb up to your torso and back down again 3 times. Okay, you can do that on both sides. And then Artemis Stretch is a great yogic stretch. So you just put one hand out, up nice and straight, turn your head and stretch your arm out. Okay, and you would do that on both sides. Okay, and then your Tibetan rings, so diagonally just working from your shoulder down to your hip and back on both sides. Okay, connecting heaven and earth is a great stretch, so one hand up, one hand down, and just push with both sides. Okay, and you can do that, I usually do it 3 times on either side, and just stretching as much as I can, stretching my arms out wide at the end of it, and then bringing that back into my chest. Okay, so that is the end of the little lung meridian class. If you have any questions, then you can always ask me through Facebook, I'm going to be uploading this onto Meridian Balancing Tips Meditation group. That's what I call my group. If you're not part of that group yet, then please do come along. Basically every week I'm going to be uploading a video and you can ask any questions or comment on it. If you have anything that you do for your own lung health, then please let me know. You know, it's always interesting whatever extra tips can be added into the mix, especially right now when everybody is really looking to prevent themselves from getting sick. Then that's always extra helpful. I meant to say, part of the reason that I'm dressed all in white today and I've got my nice silver shawl is because the colour that goes along with lungs is white and silver. So when I'm going to be doing meditation, I'm going to be doing a little bit of work with that. One of the things that you can do if you are a really emotional person and you struggle getting into debates, a great way of subconsciously allowing yourself to be a little bit more logical is by wearing white or silver. Because the metal element is a very logical based element, and it really helps you to breathe better. So when you're in an argument, you tend to get very heated and you don't breathe properly. So subconsciously wearing white and silver will remind you, okay, I need to breathe. And hopefully you can make your arguments a bit clearer. So if you've got any questions, please get in touch. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.